Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at something a little different. It's the Rivarossi 2-truck Heisler. Now this is a steam locomotive. It's Comex Lodging and Railway number 4, kind of used for those steep grades, lodging of railway operations, pulling that large amount of timber down from the mountains. So pretty cool locomotive overall. MSRP $329. You can find it online in the mid to high 200s. But let's take a look at what Rivarossi has in terms of sound and operation on this locomotive, starting right now. So it's unboxing time. All you can see is the kind of glare on the box right now. So we'll go ahead and pull off the lid. Let you see a little less, it's still glary, but you can see the actual locomotive here. Before you get to the locomotive, we've got some extra parts and pieces, traction tires, and a couple other things in here. I'm going to go ahead and actually pull the locomotive out. And we got the paperwork. Got the Heisler steam locomotive. Talks about features and functions. Functions all the way up to F19 are listed. Got some CV config stuff going on. Typical paperwork stuff. And operation of the locomotive, and then you've got your exploded parts diagram to order parts and pieces, and there's a lot fewer parts and pieces than usual. This isn't exploded as bad as a lot of the locomotives. Still parts and pieces, but not crazy amounts. So with it shows you how to put in a DCC decoder, and it shows you what's going on in terms of exploded parts, so that's cool. Usually those diagrams do real well for if you like break something, you need to order it, etc., etc. So let's go ahead and pull this out of the box. Looks like I've picked up some debris from my layout. Not exactly sealed the greatest. The layout, not the locomotive. The locomotive's fine. So these are really unique locomotives because there's trucks, there's operating trucks under the tender. Got this massive floating area going on here. And I think it's attempting to start with that ESU, but I'm gonna flip it around here to show you just crazy amount of details on this thing. I'm gonna go ahead and kill sound. F1. Interesting. So there's the sound off. You kind of heard the whistle as I was checking. Bell got turned upside down there, but no real problems. Looks like there's a little bit of flashing left behind on the bell, but that's about it. So you've got a part here, it's the vent, roof vent, kind of sits on top. Kind of sits in there if you push it in. So she's free from the confines of the box. I've muted the sound so we can go over some detail here. Sound wasn't really too loud. The only thing really out of the box it may have caught before my edit here was the bell was upside down. A little bit of flashing left on the bell that could be taken off with some rail nippers or something like that. Nothing really big deal to complain about or anything. These locomotives are really unique though, because Rivarossi does crazy good detail on these things. And then the fact that the way these locomotives are laid out and how they have to operate is unique as well. You know, you see no visible motor going from the front trucks to the rear trailing trucks under the tender there. So they just really do a unique job of taking care of the locomotive and making it accurate per the real thing. So you've got a nice golden yellow LED headlight that really looks incandescent. I think out of all the companies, they probably nail the look of the headlight more than anyone. You got a smokestack here with rivet detail. You've got handrails. You've got a safety tread walkway. You've got all the piping along the side of the boiler here. You've got a metallic bell that actually swings freely. It's not stuck in place. You've got all this nice metallic accented areas here. You have the trucks with the rod connecting the two. You've got coupler cut levers. You have the couplers. You have the magnetic trick pin on the coupler still. Going forward here, you've got cab, which is actually, you can see through the windows. However, they had to actually put the decoder and stuff in there so you can kind of see the decoder peeking through a little bit. There's no cab figures or anything, but there's reflection, but you can also kind of see the decoder. Not a big deal for most folks. You got the ladder to the cab entry door here. You've got a realistic looking coal load back here. You've got a hatch, water hatch. You have handrails back here. Back of the locomotive has number 4 on it, and we have separately applied grabs and coupler cut levers, the coupler, the step area. So lots of areas back here, all the separately applied detail. Rivets along the tender, Comox lodging and railway is written on the side here. And you got the rear light, which lights up in reverse. So those are the details. Let's get to operation. I'm going to take this off mute. Mute is different on ESU, it's F1. So you hear the dynamo starting because the headlight's on. Turn the headlight off, dynamo goes away, or dynamo, I don't know how you say that. You've got the whistle, which is F2. That's ESU sound, and it is spectacular. It is not that loud, so it's a nice volume, and it's just a real crisp sound. F3 is the bell. So that's a ringing bell, so it's not like a quick bell, so that sounds nice. You've got coal shoveling, which is F4. So that sound you hear there. F5, slow air pump. Here's one you don't see too much, curve squeal, F7. I don't know if it has to be moving to get that. Yeah, so that's kind of rounding a curve and you get the flanges squealing on the rails. F9 cylinder blowout. There's a lot of other sounds we don't have time for, going all the way up to F19. So pretty cool. That curb squeal is something I haven't heard too often out of locomotives, so that's pretty cool in terms of features. Let's go ahead and take a look at the actual operation here. I'm going to move it to 1 speed step. You can hear the chuffing. Very smooth for a steam locomotive at 1 speed step. 2. 3. Apologize for the jerky motion there. My tripod was settling a bit. 4. 5. 6 and 7 here. 8. 9. 10. So that's 10. Let's check reverse. I don't really go fast with these because slow determines basically the operation of the decoder. So that's 10 in reverse, but let's get back down to 1 here. There's 1. Shut it all the way off and picked it back up. A little more jerky motion in reverse at 1 than forward. That was completely smooth. Let's go ahead into 2. The steam locomotives are hard to nail down perfect drives on. 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, 8 and 9 and 10. A little jerky on reverse there. I'm going to speed it up here. A little jerk, so I want to make sure everything's good at faster speeds. It's about 75. That's good. A little... There's a brake squeak. Little engine noise, not bad. So overall, pretty good locomotive in terms of speed, control. Steam is a little more of a beast to get perfectly right. You're going to get a little more jerks with steam than you would diesel, but really nicely done in terms of pretty much everything. Being a little picky, yes, there's a little bit of jerking motion in reverse and forward on a couple steps. Well, that was a bit of fun. You know, I really love all different types of trains, and that's why I've kind of expanded my reviews to all these different things. I've opened requests up, not only to HO scale items that I model, but any HO scale item and any different scale items as well, if the requests are big enough. So keep those requests coming. I try to do what I can in meeting those requests. But also, awesome locomotive. I like the fact that there's a logging aspect. I actually have the Cast Scenic cars, and one day I'm going to hunt down and get a Cast Scenic Shea locomotive to go with the Cast Scenic passenger cars, since I rode on that locomotive, or behind that locomotive. But just a great thing from Rivarossi, and really nice sound and detail, and the operation's pretty smooth as well. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time right here on my channel. Take care.